Karen Thompson had never been the type to sit idle. At 68, she still rose with the sun, brewed her coffee strong and black, and tended the geraniums on her front porch in Maplewood, Ohio. The house was paid off. The late Mr. Thompson's life insurance tucked safely in a high-yield account at First Federal Credit Union, and her Social Security checks arrived like clockwork. For 40 years, she had taught third grade at Lincoln Elementary. For 4 of those retirement years, she had quietly, lovingly kept her only son, Jake, and his wife, Brittany, afloat in a downtown Cleveland loft that cost more than Karen's first house. $600 a month for rent, $300 for utilities when the budget got tight, $1,200 for the deluxe ultrasound package because Brittany wanted the full cinematic experience. Designer onesies, organic diapers, a $1,400 stroller that folded with one hand. Karen never asked for receipts. She simply logged into her banking app, hit transfer, and told herself it was temporary. Grandbabies were coming, twins the last scan had hinted. And what was money for if not family? She had missed Jake's college graduation to cover an emergency root canal for Brittany. She had skipped the Alaskan cruise with her bridge club to pay the loft's security deposit. Every skipped pleasure she filed under future grandmother joy. The pale blue dress hanging in her closet, $299 at Macy's, marked down from $450, was for the baby shower she had been planning for 6 weeks. She had already reserved the community room at the library, ordered custom sugar cookies shaped like rattles, and hand-addressed 75 invitations in her perfect Palmer penmanship. On the Friday before the supposed shower, Karen dialed Jake while stirring chili on the stove. "Hey, Mom." Jake's voice was muffled, like he was walking outside. "Hi, honey. Just confirming. Shower's tomorrow at 2, right? Brittany said you'd pick up the balloons on your way?" Silence. Wind. Then Brittany's laugh, bright and sharp, on speaker. "Oh, Karen, we already had it last weekend. Only invited our real inner circle." The wooden spoon slipped from Karen's hand and clattered against the pot. Chili splattered the white backsplash like blood. "Inner circle?" she repeated. "Yeah," Brittany chirped. "My sisters, Jake's work buddies, the moms from prenatal yoga. You know, people who are, like, actually in our daily lives." Karen's knees found the kitchen chair. She stared at the blue dress in the open closet door, still in its plastic, tags dangling like a noose. Jake cleared his throat. "It was super low-key, Mom. We didn't want to stress you out with planning, stress her out. As if the spreadsheets, the Pinterest boards, the $800 in decorations stacked in the spare bedroom were a burden she had begged to carry." That night, she opened Instagram for the first time in months. Brittany's profile glowed, a carousel of professional photos. Brittany in a cream silk maternity gown, Jake popping champagne, her 3 sisters toasting with mimosas and stemless flutes, Karen recognized from the wedding registry she had completed. Caption, #twin reveal, #blessed beyond measure, #family first. Zero mention of the woman who had paid for every flute, every cork, every sequined sash that read, "Mommy to be." Karen closed the app, opened her banking app, and began to scroll backward. 4 years of transfers, $28,000 exactly. She printed the statements, the paper warm and smelling of ink, and spread them across the dining table like autopsy photos. The next morning, the phone rang at 8:17. Brittany's name. "Karen, hey, the landlord's being a total jerk. Rent was due yesterday and Jake's paycheck is delayed. Can you Zelle the $600? Pretty please?" Karen poured coffee with a steady hand. "Didn't I hear I only sponsor VIPs?" Brittany laughed, nervous. "Come on, that was just shower talk. You know we love you. I know you love my routing number." Karen ended the call. She showered, dressed in jeans and the old Lincoln Elementary sweatshirt, and drove to First Federal. The teller, Marisol, greeted her with the familiarity of someone who had processed 4 years of identical transfers. "Morning, Mrs. T. Jake and Brittany again?" "Not today." Karen slid the printed statements across the counter. "I need to cancel the recurring transfer and freeze any joint access." Effective immediately, Marisol's eyebrows rose, but she nodded. "You'll want to speak with Mr. Hargrove." Branch manager Tom Hargrove had watched Karen's balance shrink like a snowman in April. He closed his office door, offered her a bottle of water, and listened without interruption while she recounted the shower, the Instagram, the $28,000. "Karen," he said gently, "this is elder financial abuse. You don't owe them another dime." She left with new account numbers, a fresh debit card, and a lightness in her chest she hadn't felt since the day Tim Thompson dropped dead of a heart attack in the hardware store aisle. Back home, she changed every lock, front, back, garage. The locksmith, a burly man named Ray, installed a Ring doorbell and 4 exterior cameras while she baked banana bread for no reason other than she finally could. The first ambush came 3 days later. Jake's pickup blocked her driveway. Brittany waddled up the porch steps, 34 weeks pregnant and furious. "Mom, open up!" "We need to talk." Karen watched on the app. Volume low. She dialed Tom Hargrove first. He had given her his cell, then 911 non-emergency. 2 cruisers arrived before Jake could jiggle the new deadbolt. Officer Delgado, kind-eyed and no-nonsense, explained trespassing laws. Jake's face cycled red to purple. Brittany cried theatrically. Karen stayed inside sipping chamomile until the trucks peeled away. That night she phoned her old principal, Donna, who referred her to Regina Patel, elder law attorney extraordinaire out of Cleveland. Regina's voicemail promised a return call by morning. Karen slept 9 hours, her first full night since 2019. Regina arrived Monday in a crimson pantsuit and a briefcase full of righteous fury. Over tea at the kitchen table, she laid out the plan. Document every dollar, secure a restraining order if needed, prepare for the inevitable competency challenge. "They'll claim you're confused," Regina warned. "Dementia, undue influence, whatever sticks. We'll need a neuropsych eval and character witnesses," Karen nodded. "I have both." The neuropsychologist, Dr. Lydia Chen, spent 3 hours on memory tests, clock drawing, word recall. Final report: cognitive function in the superior range for age. Regina high-fived her in the parking lot. Character witnesses queued up like it was jury duty for the defense of common sense. Marisol the teller, Ray the locksmith, Donna the ex-principal, and the entire Tuesday book club. 6 retired teachers who had watched Karen bloom from doormat to dynamo. The escalation came faster than Regina predicted. A knock at 7:42 a.m. on a Wednesday. A mousy woman in a county polo shirt holding a clipboard. "Mrs. Thompson? I'm Denise from Adult Protective Services. We received a concern about self-neglect and possible cognitive decline." Karen's pulse hammered, but she smiled. "Please come in." "Coffee?" Denise declined. She wanted to see the fridge, stocked, the pill box, vitamins only, the checkbook, balanced to the penny. Karen handed over Dr. Chen's report before Denise could ask. "Who filed the report?" Karen asked. "Anonymous. But the caller mentioned sudden isolation, paranoia about cameras, refusal of family support." Karen laughed, actually laughed. "The cameras are to keep the family out, Denise." Denise left 20 minutes later. Case closed pending paperwork. Karen texted Regina. They sent APS. Regina replied with a string of fire emojis and a court date. The petition for guardianship landed the following week. Jake and Brittany alleged erratic behavior, paranoid ideation, financial self-sabotage. They attached affidavits from Brittany's yoga instructor, Karen seemed confused about the shower date, and the loft's property manager, tenants, disclosed Mrs. Thompson's recent memory lapses. They requested emergency temporary guardianship to prevent dissipation of assets. Regina filed a blistering counter motion, attaching bank records, the neuropsych report, ring footage of the driveway blockade, and a sworn statement from Officer Delgado. The hearing was set for Cuyahoga County Probate Court, Judge Evelyn Torres presiding. Karen bought a new Navy suit, her first in a decade, and practiced her testimony in the mirror until the words felt like armor. Court day dawned gray and cold. Karen arrived with Regina, Donna, and Marisol. Jake and Brittany sat opposite, flanked by a lawyer in a shiny suit who looked fresh from a TV commercial. Their attorney painted Karen as a lonely widow spiraling into dementia. He entered grainy stills from the Ring camera, Karen on the porch at odd hours, watering flowers at dusk. He played a voicemail of Karen's calm voice saying, "I only sponsor VIPs," claiming it proved delusional thinking. Regina's turn. She called Dr. Chen, who testified for 40 minutes on Karen's perfect scores. She called Ray the locksmith, who explained the break-in attempt. She called Marisol, who teared up describing 4 years of watching a teacher's retirement vanish into a loft she would never visit. Then Karen took the stand. "Mrs. Thompson," Regina began, "why did you stop the payments?" Karen looked straight at Jake. His eyes flicked away. "Because I finally saw the price tag on their love," she said. $28,000, and I still wasn't special enough for a baby shower invitation. I decided my money and my heart deserved better. The cross-examination was brutal. Shiny suit implied the book club had brainwashed her, that Regina was bleeding her dry with fees. Karen never raised her voice. "Mr. Lang, I taught 3rd grade for 40 years. I can smell manipulation from the hallway. These women," she gestured to her friends, "show up with casseroles, not invoices." Judge Torres recessed for lunch. When she returned, her ruling was swift. Petition denied. The evidence of competency is overwhelming. The court finds probable cause to believe the petitioners engaged in financial exploitation. Case referred to the prosecutor for review. Jake stood so fast his chair tipped. Brittany clutched her belly, mouth open in silent outrage. Karen felt nothing but the steady beat of her own heart. Outside, snow had begun to fall. Regina hugged her. Donna produced a thermos of hot chocolate. They toasted on the courthouse steps while Jake and Brittany were escorted to a side room to speak with detectives. Spring arrived early that year. Karen sold the Maplewood house, too many echoes, and bought a butter-yellow condo overlooking the Grand Canyon. She flew first class, something she had never done, and used the frequent flyer miles Jake and Brittany had racked up on her credit card to book a hot air balloon ride at sunrise. The twins were born in April, healthy boys named Hudson and Harper. Karen saw the announcement on Facebook, posted by Brittany's sister. No tag, no message. She closed the app and opened her watercolor set instead. The canyon at dawn required cerulean and burnt sienna. Family drama required none of her pigments. In June, the prosecutor called. Jake and Brittany had taken a plea, restitution of $10,000, 5 years probation, no contact order. Karen donated the check to the local domestic abuse shelter and bought herself a wide-brimmed hat for the canyon rim. She hiked every morning with a group of retired teachers who had relocated to Arizona for the winters. They swapped stories of prodigal children and reclaimed dreams. On Fridays, they played mahjong on her patio while the sun bled orange across the rock. One evening in September, her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Mom, it's Jake. Can we talk? The boys ask about you." Karen stared at the screen until it dimmed. She thought of the blue dress still hanging in a donation bag, the sugar cookies long stale, the $28,000 that had bought her the clearest vision of her life. She typed, "Hudson and Harper will learn that love isn't a line item on a budget. When they're old enough to understand that, have them write me a letter. Until then, take care of your family with your own hands." She blocked the number, poured a glass of iced tea, and stepped onto the balcony. The canyon swallowed the sun in layers of rose and violet. Somewhere far below, a river carved stone with patient persistence. Karen raised her glass to the sky. "To VIPs," she whispered and drank deeply.